Hello, Waldorf students and faculty. My name is Andrew Holt, and today I'm going to be providing you an informative speech. The topic of today is going to be the Air Force Storytellers program. So, the Air Force has this program called the Storytellers, and what it is essentially, it provides service members a platform to come up and share their life experiences on how they have faced and overcome adversity and shown true resiliency. This program allows for inspirational stories of leadership, personal development, or perhaps some tragedy that somebody's faced in life and the story of how they were able to overcome it. The Air Force has had this program set in place for roughly 10 years now. And ever since I have been aware of it, I've had this burning desire to be a part of it. Unfortunately, due to different circumstances, it took me a long time before I was finally able to be a part of the Storytellers program. It's my great pleasure and privilege that I was able to coordinate the first ever Storytellers event at the base that I'm currently located at. And as recently as today, I finished recording the stream for the second Storytellers event that's ever taken place at our base. The Storytellers event that happened today had a wide variety of speakers, all different ethnicities, ages, experience levels within the military, and military backgrounds. We had a combat service member experience PTSD related symptoms and suicidal ideations from an experience that he had during a deployment in a combat environment, obviously. Um, we had another speaker share the inspirational story of his daughter being born prematurely several months and his leadership being able to identify this is a human experience that needs a human answer. And they were able to see past the protocol or procedures that might have been in place that would have dictated what this individual needed to do. They allowed him to stay with his family and take care of his daughter and his recovering wife. The next speaker that we had at the Storytellers event was someone that had unfortunately experienced having two very close friends commit suicide within his organization that he worked at, and having to go on and explain his own suicidal ideations that he felt as a result of having experienced that type of loss, and recognizing that as a warning sign that he needed to go and seek out help for his mental health. And that story really resonated with me because I'm a major advocate for mental health, particularly men seeking therapy and speaking about their emotions. The last speaker that we had today was arguably the best story of the bunch. She's a young woman that was born in Bangladesh, and obviously there's unfamiliar cultural expectations that come along with being born there. She had, at 16, she had a preordained marriage. Essentially, her family had decided who she was going to marry, and they had her married when she was 16 years old. So she goes from an environment where she's completely dictated by what her father wants her to do to being completely dictated by what her now husband wants to do. And her husband had treated her like an object or like a child, where he didn't consider her an equal. And through some unique opportunity, she was able to come to America with her husband, and she found a way to be able to position herself in a place to where she could take some responsibility for her life, and she joined the Air Force. And there were some complications that happened after that occurred, and her spouse decided that he wanted to divorce her. And as she explained in her story, the Bangladeshi culture, if the wife were to leave the marriage, then the culture says that there must be something wrong with the woman. And if the man decides that he wants to leave the marriage, then the culture says there must be something wrong with the woman. there's not a lot of win in this situation for my friend, the speaker. So she was facing this incredible burden of this social pressure and knowing that her husband wants to leave. And rather than face that and let down her family, she decides the best thing to do is to just not live anymore. And so she has a failed suicide attempt. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, she didn't succeed, but she was installed in a mental institution where she was able to get the help that she really needed and piece together what her identity was and realize the consequences of what her fear was doing to her. And I really felt like it was such an amazing story because culturally speaking, there's things that were very unfamiliar, but there's universal truth to her story because there's so many people that compromise themselves based off the expectations of others. And the amount of bravery that she had to have to eventually, take the divorce and move on, and through like great effort of her own by using uh, spiritual, physical, and personal development, like watching videos and reading books and working with mentors and counselors, she was able to restructure what her identity was for herself. And ultimately now she's living her happily ever after. She's remarried, she has a child, she's very, very secure with who she is now. And I just felt like that was something that would really resonate with everyone in the audience. And it's stories like hers that really draw me to this program and make me want to be a part of it because it instills so much in uh, the young people in the community and the military community that have never, ever, ever experienced anything like this. And it's very possible that the person that you're sitting next to could be going through some kind of trauma or some kind of amazing experience, and you'd never know it unless you ask them. And so that's my story about the Storytellers program. And this concludes my informative speech. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. Thank you for your time.